Tang monk suddenly became pregnant, all because he accidentally drank a sip of a woman's bathwater. Even more ridiculous, Pigsy and Sandy were affected too. It all started a few days earlier, when they mistakenly entered the magical barrier of the women's kingdom. The moment the queen saw Tang monk, she fell in love at first sight. Back at the palace, the queen rushed to check her ancient scrolls. The book said, "Men are the source of all poisons. If your heart races and your limbs go weak, it means you've been poisoned by love." The queen touched her chest. Sure enough, she had been poisoned. Just then, the royal priestess arrived and declared, "Love is an incurable illness. The only cure is to kill the monk and his disciples." Soon, the four of them were dragged to the execution ground. But the queen secretly disguised herself as a guard and snuck in. She swapped out the real arrows for fake ones to help them fake their deaths and escape. The first 3 arrows worked perfectly, but when it was Pigsy's turn, things went wrong. The priestess insisted on switching to a real arrow, claiming Pigsy was too ugly, deserving of extra punishment. In the end, all 4 were pushed off a cliff. But not long after, Tang monk, Pigsy, and Sandy's stomachs began to swell. Yukong panicked and rushed off to find a spring that could reverse the effect. But that spring was no ordinary water. It came from the tears of the kingdom's most beautiful woman. To get it, Yukong put on a full performance, selling his misery and pulling out all the dramatic stops. In the end, he moved the beautiful woman to tears and collected her sorrowful tears as antidote. When he returned, Tang monk suddenly refused to drink it. He said he wanted to keep the baby. Yukong didn't hesitate. He froze Tang monk with a palm strike and poured the tear water into his mouth. At that moment, the priestess reappeared and banished Tang monk onto the sea of suffering. The queen couldn't bear to see him go and leaped onto the boat to join him. They drifted together through scorching sun and stormy waves, nearly dehydrated. In that moment of struggle, Tang monk finally realized his true feelings. Eventually, their boat washed ashore. They discovered that the exit of the women's kingdom was at the far edge of the sea of suffering. The queen said she wanted to go with Tang monk, willing to give up her crown and kingdom for love. But the moment she stepped outside the barrier, the entire kingdom began to turn to stone. In a panic, Tang monk pushed her back inside just in time, restoring everything. In the end, the queen returned to her people, choosing to remain their ruler and continue leading her kingdom.